There's a feeling I get every time I start Shadow of the Colossus. It's a game that feels massive, full of towering landscapes and creatures the size of mountains, yet somehow it's also quiet and lonely. When I first played it, that silence hit me harder than anything else, because this isn't just a world without people. It's a world that feels abandoned, forgotten, and sacred all at once. It's strange, isn't it? How a game so still can feel so alive, where everything you see and hear feels intentional. At its core, Shadow of the Colossus is simple. You play as Wander, a lone traveler on a desperate mission to bring a girl named Mono back to life. To do it, you must slay 16 colossal beings scattered across a vast, desolate land. No towns, no NPCs, no dialogue. Just you, your horse, and the weight of what you're doing. And yet, this empty world feels almost full. Every quiet moment, every empty stretch of land feels intentional, like it's saying something without words. This video is the start of a new series I'm calling The Hook. In each episode, I'll explore one defining element of a game, the thing that makes it unforgettable. And in Shadow of the Colossus, that hook is emptiness. So let's explore how a game so empty can feel so full. How Shadow of the Colossus, with so little, creates something this grand, this meaningful, this unforgettable. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really helps support the channel, and there's more analysis like this coming soon. But let's start by looking at the world itself, the vast, silent space that makes Shadow of the Colossus feel so alive. The first thing you notice in Shadow of the Colossus isn't the colossi, but the world. You're told to slay your first one, so you climb onto aggro and ride out. And all you see is emptiness. No people, no enemies, no nothing. Just endless plains stretching toward distant mountains, with a few monuments and shrines scattered around the world. Nothing to guide you, nothing to distract you, nothing to break the silence. It's massive, and hauntingly quiet. A world stripped of excess, designed to make you feel small and alone. Every hill, valley, and temple feels significant, because there's nothing else competing for your attention. As you ride further, the landscape shifts. Lakes still as glass, towering cliffs, deserts that shimmer like they're alive, caves and ruins that feel ancient beyond reason. Who built them? Why are they here? The game never says. And that's the point. Every turn feels like it hides a secret, something waiting to be discovered if you look hard enough. The world leaves room for imagination, for curiosity, for awe. When you first spot a Colossus, it doesn't just look big, it feels impossible. That sense of scale only works because the world around it is still, quiet, and vast. Those long stretches of travel aren't filler, they're reflection. Each ride across the plains feels meditative, letting you absorb the world's beauty and loneliness. This is what makes the world design brilliant. By giving you space, literally and emotionally, it turns emptiness into meaning. But you still have a mission, so you get off your horse, climb the ridge, and then there it is. A towering giant that looks ancient and unstoppable, and it makes sure that you know it's there. Every roar and every movement echoes through the valley. This isn't just a boss battle, it's a confrontation that feels sacred, almost mournful. The colossi aren't just enemies, they're monuments. Each one is a living landscape, a moving piece of architecture, inspired by animals or mythical creatures that perfectly match their surroundings. Some lumber like massive bulls, others soar like birds or slither through sand like serpents. Each has a home of its own, a canyon, a lake, a ruin, a cliffside. You never fight two in the same place. Every encounter feels distinct, crafted for that creature alone. And the design blends puzzle solving with spectacle. You don't just fight these beings, you study them, learn their rhythm, and use the environment to overcome them. And these colossi show emotions in different ways than you would think. Take Gaius, for example, the third Colossus. Every swing of his weapon is slow, heavy, and deliberate, like it takes everything he has. It's not just animation, it's personality. The emptiness around each battle amplifies the impact. Without noise or distraction, every roar, stomp, and collapse feels monumental. When a Colossus falls, the silence hits harder than the victory. You're not celebrating, you're reflecting. Through these encounters, Shadow of the Colossus turns stillness into awe. Each creature, each space, each moment feels singular, making the world feel alive even when it's quiet, and I just find that so brilliant. But we've only talked about the things you see. Now let's talk about the things you hear. In Shadow of the Colossus, every sound feels deliberate. Most of the time, all you hear is wind, hooves, and echoes. It gives travel this peaceful, adventurous calm, like the world is breathing. Then, when you reach a Colossus, everything shifts. The score erupts, strings soar, horns blare, drums thunder. That contrast, from near silence to full orchestration, makes every battle feel monumental. Each Colossus has its own musical identity. Some tracks are solemn, reflecting their ancient majesty. Others burst with energy and urgency. And while some themes repeat, they always fit, adapting to the creature and the moment. But when the battle ends, the music doesn't celebrate, it mourns. It swells with weight, as if acknowledging that something significant just ended, but not for the better. You just slain a giant, but it doesn't feel like a victory. When it fades, you're left alone again, with the wind and the emptiness, like the world itself is sighing. Traveling is peace, fighting is awe, and between the two, Shadow of the Colossus finds its soul. So we've talked about the world, the colossi themselves, and even the sounds you hear. But now let's talk about the story. Shadow of the Colossus begins with death. A woman named Mono, sacrificed for having a cursed fate. We don't know what that curse is, and Wander doesn't care. He just wants her back. So he makes a deal with Dorman, a mysterious entity who promises resurrection in exchange for the death of 16 colossi. A simple premise, but the story isn't about success. It's about the cost of it. With each Colossus you kill, the silence grows heavier. Victories feel less triumph and more like tragedies. The game never says you're wrong, but the world seems to mourn each time you win. And Wander changes too. Every time you defeat a Colossus, some weird black spirit shoots at you. This knocks you to the ground, but then you just wake up back in the temple. You think nothing happened, but Wander changed. His body looks weak, his skin is corrupt, he's even growing horns out of his head. And something that was really cool to me was that Wander never brings this up. He never says it, he never really acknowledges it. He just keeps going on. And the game never tells you either, even though after every single Colossus you defeat, you change, even if it's slightly. I honestly think some players just didn't notice this till the end, that he's being consumed by the very power he sought. And yet, he keeps going, driven by love, obsession, and guilt. Even Agro, your horse, feels deeply human, loyal, stubborn, real. He's your only companion in a world that punishes you for trying. I also really love how sometimes he just disobeys your commands, making him feel more like a real horse. And when he falls, it really hurts. You just lost the only person you knew. Because by then, the emptiness isn't just around you, it's inside you. And when the journey ends, it's not victory that awaits. Mono awakens, yeah, but Wander's sacrifice is complete. He's reborn an infant, the cycle beginning anew. Life through death, death through life. The game ends not with answers, but with silence. It never tells you what to think. It lets you sit in the silence and decide what it means. It's not a story about saving someone. It's about what you're willing to lose trying. In the end, Shadow of the Colossus isn't about slaying giants. It's about emptiness, and how that emptiness makes everything feel alive. Every ruin, every plane, every breath of wind, it all has weight. The game doesn't demand your attention, it earns it. Not by its shouts, but by its whispers. That's what makes Shadow of the Colossus timeless. It's not the scale or the spectacle, it's the silence between them. The quiet moments that linger long after the credits roll. And that's why I love it, because in its stillness, its loneliness, and its beauty, it reminds us that meaning doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. But anyways, thank you so much for watching the first episode of The Hook. I love making this video, and I'd love to make more, so comment which games you'd want to see next. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really helps the channel growth. But that's all I got today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.